Welcome to Shomach Shov on the Daf. We're holding in Menachos Daf Lamed Aleph. The Gemara in the end of Amud Beis brings two opinions. How do you end the last line in a Mezuzah? Everybody agrees that the last line should have the words Al Haaretz. The pasuk says Kimei Hashamayim Al Haaretz. So the line before the last will end with the words Kimei Hashamayim. Then the last line will have the word Al Haaretz. But the question is, where does Al Haaretz go? Some say right in the end of the line, right below Kimei Hashamayim. In the beginning of the line. And the Gemara explains. The one that says in the end is because you want it to be below the words Kimei Hashamayim, like the Shamayim is above the land. The one who says he's right in the beginning of the line because you want the land, Haaretz, to be far away from the word Shamayim to show that it's very far. As Rashi explains, the further it is, the more Richus Yomim you have. And Shuvas Ramah and Simon Chofei, he has a very long Richus in our Sugya, but he goes on to explain this piece of Gemara. He says that the Shamayim is the source of the spiritual part of the Adam. The Neshamas come from Shamayim. The Haaretz is where the Guf comes. That's the source of death. So we're trying to reach Al Haaretz as later as possible. We want it to be the last thing that you get to. So he says these two opinions is the machlokes. How did they roll the Mezuzah? As the Gemara is going to say in a moment. If they rolled from left to right, so then you want to write Al Haaretz in the end of the Shita, because you're going to see it only by the end, because once you open it up, the last thing you'll see is the end of the parsha. But if you roll to the other direction, so you want to see Al Haaretz last, you put it at the beginning of the line. And he says, it's not really a machlokes if you do the beginning of the line or the end of the line. Depends where you roll the mezuzah to. And the idea is to put the Al Haaretz as far as possible because you want to distance life from death. To Marshal, he has a pirush on the smak. And in Esech of Gimel, he comes to explain this, and he says like this. The mezuzah comes to do a richus yomi for the Adam and to save an Adam from chet, from a sin. Now the pasuk the Gemara brings to tell me that the Shamayim needs to be above the Haaretz. The pasuk is Ki gevoya Shamayim al Haaretz gover chazdoi al Yereyav. Says the Marshal, that refers to richus yomi because it says, the pasuk says Ki toiv chasadecho mechayim. On the other hand, you have another pasuk. The pasuk says Ki choik mizrach imarov, east from west. Distance the Averis from us. So if you're referring to the Mezuzah, Al Tzarichus Yomim, so that I want to speak about the Shamayim and the Haaretz, one above each other, because that's the pasuk that speaks about Arichus Yomim. You're speaking about Shamayim above the Haaretz. Kegavoya Shamayim Hal Haaretz. But if you're speaking about the Chet, so there I'm doing it on a diagonal. I want to say that one is in the east, one is in the west. So it depends what's the focus of the mezuzah. Is it Richus Yomim or is it Tzolah Mechet? A similar ifin, the Ein Eliyahu explains. Ein Eliyahu says that Gavoya Shamayim Al Haaretz refers to the tzaddikim. Because the Hemshech HaPasuk is, Ken Govar Chazdo Al Yereyav. So we talk about the tzaddikim, the Yerei Shamayim. Mizrach Mar, the same pasuk the Mashal says, that it says that so going away from Aveira is Mizuch to Marav. So he says, Ein Eliyahu, that goes about a tshuva. Now we have a machlokes, what's greater? Is a tzaddik greater than Baal Tshuva? Baal Tshuva is greater than a tzaddik. That's the machlokes over here. Do we focus Shemai above the Haaretz? That's referring to the tzaddik, because the pasuk speaks about Yereyav, or referring to distance, to a horizontal distance, that's the idea about Tshuva is away from Aveira. The Ben Yoyada has a whole different mahalach. When we're speaking about Rochak Shamayim Haaretz, says Ben Yoyada, we're not talking about the distance of Shamayim and Haaretz. We're talking about the numeric value between Shamayim and Haaretz. The difference between Shamayim and Haaretz in the numeric value in the Gematria is 99. And 99 is the Shiluv Havaya Adnus with a koilel of 8 oisios, of 8 letters. So we want to speak about the Shefa that comes from Shamayim, which is Havaya Adnus, all the Shefa. We're referring to Shamayim Al Haaretz, because we're coming to express the fact that the Haaretz has the 99 less than Shamayim, because Shamayim is mashpia through the 99 Al Haaretz. In Ayin Shammar, he explains the second Mandamar, referring to a harchaka that has to do with the distance between Shamayim and Haaretz. Now if we do it, we want to emphasize the distance, not the hashpah. That's what we do in the beginning of the Shita. He says there are remez regarding the number 500, which is the merchek between Shamayim and Haaretz, Ayin Sham. So it has to do more with the numeric value in the remuzim, in the words themselves, and not the actual position of Shamayim and Haaretz in the line. That's what the Ben Yoda explains. Anyone who wants to join, respond to the Shom Machshava Shurim, please email shommachshava@gmail.com.